Welcome back to the APF Records Podcast. I'm your host James Kidd, former Widows guitarist and APF Records alumnus, and I'm very much looking forward to getting this podcast and all the amazing bands on APF Records into your ears across the coming months of 2021 and beyond. Before I introduce our guests to the show, let's fill you in on what this podcast is all about. You're likely here because you're already in the know, but for those of you stumbling randomly across this podcast for the very first time, I'll help you out. APF Records is an independent label based in Manchester in the United Kingdom, housing some of the finest purveyors of heavy riffs in the UK's underground, sludge, doom, grind and stoner scenes. With over 50 releases from a roster of 30 different bands, including Battalions, Barbarian Hermit, Corrupt Moral Altar, Desert Storm, PIST, Mastiff and the mighty Video Nasties, APF Records has quickly become a name to know if you like your riffs greasy and with a large swaggering pair of balls on them. Since we're still waiting for the Rona to fuck off and the first 4 episodes have covered all the bands with upcoming releases so far this year, we're going to continue going through the rest of the bands on APF Records in the coming weeks, doing a little bit of a retrospective on their careers so far and giving you all a chance to check out all the awesome bands on APF Records you may or may not have missed. Anyway, now you're all up to speed, let's introduce our very special guests on this episode of the APF Records Podcast. This is Dave and John from PIST. Gentlemen, welcome. Great to have you on board.
Hello.
Yo.
So I'll just drop an air horn here as well for the long. Hello fellas, welcome to the APF Records Podcast. It's great to have you here. It's been far too long since I've seen you both. How are you keeping?
All right. Pretty tired.
Yeah, good man. Like, apart from the obvious.
Yeah. Have you been working through all of this bullshit?
No,
Yeah, we've both been working through it.
I think you're our second Manchester or Northwest band to be on the podcast. First one obviously was Barbarian Hermit, good old Babs Herman. Now anyone familiar with APF Records will know that PIST are a firm favourite both on the label and on the scene in general. Well known for their antics both on stage and off stage, and for having their tentacles in several other musical pies as well. But so before we get too far into the interview, give us a rundown, lads, of like all the other bands that are kind of centered around PIST. You're a bit of a band whore, and like Dave, you've had a few projects and
Red Eye. You've got
You've
got Red Eye.
Red Eyes.
Your thing with Sam.
Yeah, I've been starting like a death metal thing with a mate as well.
I've got Drug Vulture with Unty and Collier. I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not too many, man.
because the other lads were in one of them in Wart as well.
Yeah, Collins in Wart. Unty's done Molly Bloom, like this kind of folky punk band. What else is there? I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, Jack's in Barbados as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah, our new guitarist Jack.
Oh, cool. Oh, so you've had a bit of a lineup change since we last spoke then.
Yeah.
Got somebody else. Tell us about that.
It was just in the right place at the right time, really. I've been thinking about it for a while, just because it gives me more freedom, but it just came round here and we started jamming and it was cool.
Yeah.
So we asked him to join us. He learnt the whole album in a week as well.
Yeah,
That's
he
quick.
was rapping, and obviously with COVID and shit like that, we weren't playing no shows, so it just gave us time to kind of get it all gelled together. But he slipped in dead easy. We weren't actually really looking proper for a guitarist. And like John said, he just were around at my house having a few beers and that, and him and John started jamming and thought, fuck it, getting down to the practice room and that.
Yeah, sweet. So it all just kind of weaved in nicely then, basically.
Yeah, man.
Sweet. I love it when that happens like that. You guys have obviously been playing together for several years now. Was it 2013? I think you guys first came out.
End of 2013.
Yeah. So yeah, good while now. Like obviously you've got quite a few releases under your belts, plenty of fucking shows, plenty of tours, all that shit. Not just with yourselves as well, but with all the other bands you guys have been in collectively. No doubt you've developed something resembling a fairly solid writing and rehearsal process by now that even in like a normal environment would present its own challenges. But what new challenges has COVID brought to you as a band?
Well, firstly, when we weren't allowed to meet up and practice and all that shit, and we followed that for a fair while, and then we were just careful. We just started rehearsing again, just for our own sanity, I think. Really, fucking. But yeah, I'd say the only real challenge was when we
trying to be motivated to write new music as well was pretty difficult at the start.
Yeah, I guess when there's no, you don't know when everything's going to end, kind of thing. You know, when we're going to get shows and stuff. It's hard to motivate yourself to have something. You know.
Yeah, but then we wrote a full fucking record.
Yeah. Not an album in a couple of weeks.
Fucking fast work, man.
Yeah, man.
You boys have never been known for like hanging around and spinning your wheels, to be fair, so it's not a surprise. So normally we'd be talking about upcoming releases and whatnot on this show, but Rona's making that a bit difficult, so we're going to do like a bit of a PIST retrospective kind of thing. So we're going to try and focus a little bit more on your more recent releases. But before we get onto that, we're just going to run through your discography as a whole very quickly. I can see you've got like 5 releases out on your Bandcamp. So in order, you've got Riffology, Rhythm and Booze, 68 OFO, Hales, and Fuck Off and Die. Now, obviously, you guys have been around a little bit longer than APF. So who was releasing the early stuff for you?
Yeah, When Planets Collide.
Gareth from Gert. He put out the first 2, and then when we signed with APF, Fieldy stuck out 68 OFO, which is just Riffology and Rhythm and Booze on Mondays.
Cool. All right, sweet. So tell us a little bit about the first 3 releases then. Like what any good stories behind them? What kind of brought them about? Any kind of cool stories from the studio, anything like that?
Well, I just left Jackknife Holiday and I wanted to do something new. Recorded some riffs with some programmed drums and I put it on SoundCloud, and then Dave had heard it and wanted to sing over it.
Oh, nice.
And then that's how PIST started.
Yeah.
And then I got in touch with Collins and Unty. I think Unty couldn't do it at first, so we tried Rob from Fetal Juice. But then Unty became available, and that's who we wanted to play drums. So I think we had what, like 1 practice or something?
Yeah, 1 practice before the studio.
Yeah, and then we just went straight into Skyhammer with Chris Field and just recorded Riffology, Rapid.
Yeah, we were going to record it ourselves, but then Hunter's computer died, so...
Yeah. We ended up going to Skyhammer, and we've been recording with Chris ever since.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was such a quick release, and then
we played our first gig 2 days after it came out, I think.
Yeah, it were all pretty rapid, and then Rhythm and Booze. When did that come out?
Can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2016, 2017, something like that, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, and that was just, usual studio shit, getting drunk.
Yeah, it was a bit more prepared than Riffology because we'd had the songs longer. It was more of I'd written the songs for Riffology and everyone else learnt it.
Yeah.
Whereas Rhythm and Booze was a bit more of a collaborative effort.
I wrote a couple of tunes on it. And then, but with Hales and stuff like that, that was like all of us kind of writing it together. That one kind of felt like the first proper PIST record, in my eyes anyway. But then we listened back to the other ones the other day, when it was, I think Riffology was like 7-year-old or something the other day.
Yeah.
So we listened back to that for the first time in fucking years, and it were all right. It was slightly better than I remembered it being, because I didn't remember it being too great, to be honest.
Fair. It's always a plus when you listen back to your old shit and it's still like, it still has something to it and you're not like, oh no.
It's nice to see how far you've come as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like, because they do sound like Riffology and Hales sound completely fucking different. Well, to us anyway.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, you guys have evolved a bit over the years. Since
Still sounds like
stuff that you were doing back in the day, like. Obviously, like, you know, Riffology was kind of, like John says, was mostly kind of like the John Nicholson experience. And, you know, Rhythm and Booze was a bit more of a team effort. And then going onwards, you know, you'd all had a few years to evolve as individual musicians and as a band as well, like creatively. So, like, I'm telling you now, man, Hales was an amazing album. Like, I was probably blown away when I heard that shit. A couple of the solos on there as well, John. I tip my hat to you there. massively. But so yeah, we've been through the first releases and whatnot, and obviously 68 OFO. There's a little bit of a story behind the name there. What's that about?
Yeah, it was going from Glasgow to Edinburgh, or Edinburgh to Glasgow. And it's just the amount of beers we drunk in the time. It took to travel there. I think it's only about
an hour
or something like that. But we chugged a few beers, and yeah, 68 beers. And then
fuck off was like a talk about
68. He's got a fucking tramp stamp sat here with it.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, I remember when the picture came out. I had a good chuckle at that. Quality stuff.
I'm amazed I don't regret it.
Right, so by now anyone new to you guys is probably going to be wondering what you sound like. So I reckon it's time for a track, because at the end of the day, we compile adjectives and descriptions high as you like, but it's far better just to give some people some sounds, isn't it? So we've got 2 tracks for you, as usual, for the listeners out there. So fellas, do you want to do the honors and tell the people what they're going to hear today?
Yeah, so it's going to be off Hales, and it's going to be Mind Rotter and Skinny God. Mind Rotter was the first song we released from Hales. We've got a music video for that one as well.
Okay, cool.
Skinny God just seems to be everyone's favourite off that album.
All right, sound. Well, we'll kick off with Mind Rotter then. We'll go from there. So this is PIST with Mind Rotter from the album Hales. Let's check it out. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the recording of the Hales album. Where did you record that one?
We went to Full Studio with Chris Fielding again, just because he's like an extra member to the band now, because we've recorded with him since the beginning.
Yeah.
The idea of recording with someone else just seems a bit risky now.
Yeah, it's comfortable, and he offers something else, like ideas and that we wouldn't necessarily like thought of and stuff like that, and he just seems to get the best out of us, and it's, you know, you don't feel massively under pressure and all that kind of shit that you don't want when you're in the studio.
Totally.
So it's just a good experience, and obviously at Paul, he was staying there with us, so we're like,
finding someone that'll put up with us for a week.
Yeah. Yeah, he can handle us. With, like, some people who can't. No soft asses and that.
Yeah, because obviously Foal is where Chris is kind of residing studio-wise now after Skyhammer shut down, which was a sad day. But it's nice. It is nice to see him back at Foal, because obviously before Skyhammer was a thing, that was where he was working as well. Like me and Jolliffe from Widows, we wanted to record there with him even before Widows was a thing. And obviously when he started Skyhammer, we were like, well, that's even closer. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, Skyhammer was great, like, but
Foal's like record at Foal. So.
Foal's just out in the middle of nowhere, and
it's like a holiday.
Yeah, it was like a holiday, man. It was. It's just so chilled out there. And they had meerkats as well, didn't they? That was pretty cool.
Meerkats?
Yeah, man. They had like, they keep loads of animals and shit. They do like owns it or whatever. And yeah, we got to go and chill and like stroke meerkats and shit. That was pretty cool.
I was digging the fact that I got to hang out with some chickens at Skyhammer. That was cool enough. But like,
man.
Yes.
Yeah, meerkats taking it to the next fucking level, man.
Yeah, totally.
Chickens are cool, but
yeah, fully. But like, all right. So, what's the prediction then? Like, when Chris moves on from Foal, what cool animal do you reckon is going to be at that studio next? Like, you know, next level.
A rhino.
A rhino.
Yeah. A rhino or a giraffe or something. A giraffe would be pretty interesting.
Giraffe would be pretty rad, yeah.
Easy to find the studio with that.
Good point.
Needs to nip down to Michael Jackson's old yard and pick up a couple of giraffes from the theme park. So how many tracks have you got on Hales then?
7.
We didn't want it to go over 40 minutes, and the songs are fair long, so
yeah. So you could get like what? So you could get it on a vinyl basically, on a 12-inch.
I don't like when records go over like fucking 40 minutes. I prefer like 35 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah. One side of a C90 was like perfect. It's not old C90 tape, perfect.
Yeah, man.
Album length. 2 albums for fucking like what, 90p the tape would cost you. Banging. So
Rain Blood's like perfect. What's that?
that's 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So on Hales, these 7 tracks, are they all separate entities, or is there like an overarching concept behind them, you know, or like a link, anything that links them?
Nah, separate songs.
Yeah, fair. When did that come out? I can't remember. Was it?
Yeah, November 2019.
Yeah.
Just before Rona.
Yeah, I remember it being one of the last APF releases to drop all that bullshit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're going to hear another track fairly soon, but I'd like to approach what's potentially a bit of a sensitive subject at the moment, live shows. Obviously, normally at this point, in an ideal world, I'd be asking you, hey guys, what shows have you got coming up where we can catch you live and hear any new shit, all that sort of things, you know, drink a beer with you, hang out, all that, buy some merch. But with the current restrictions on live events at the moment, going out on the road hasn't really been an option for any of us for most of 2020 and probably most of 2021 as well. So obviously it's hard for a band whose main like bread and butter is getting out there and playing shows and getting in people's faces. So are you guys doing anything special to kind of keep the momentum rolling a little bit for the fans? Like Any videos of like special edition merch, like live stream from the practice? Dave starting an OnlyFans.
We were talking about doing a live stream, weren't we?
Yeah, just a free one.
Yeah, not charging, just put it on Facebook or some shit, just off just do it off a mobile phone, like or something like that. Not fancy, man. Yeah. We're not fancy. But then we're booked to go in the studio in May and record the new record, and then hopefully get that out 2022 around, I don't know, March, April kind of time, something like that.
Oh, that's sweet.
So yeah, that's about it. Merch wise, we'll print some merch when we print some new merch.
Yeah.
Not got any plans right now or anything. Just focusing on getting everything tight for the new record. I think this is the most prepared we've been for entering the studio and stuff like that. We've been having sessions where John, Huntley and Jack have been going down like on a Tuesday, and then we've been practicing as a band on a Thursday, and me and Collins have been spending some time writing lyrics and stuff like that. Yeah. So it should be pretty fucking good, like when we get in there and get it down.
So that'll be what, like studio release number 4 for you guys?
Yeah.
Wicked. Yeah, that's getting into big boy territory now then. Like anyone can fart out a couple of CDs, but then doing like a third album and progressing from there.
We just need to keep writing. It's just what we do, innit? Like we just like getting together and writing music together and having a few beers and that. We sorted our jam room out now because we were sharing it with another band, but they've moved out and we've just taken it on ourselves, and we've got it pretty fucking legit in there now.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, it's always nice when you can make your practice space your own. So obviously, yeah, you got Jack in the band now. So with the additional member, you're probably going to be adding some elements to your sound. But are you doing anything new for this? Taking any new directions or adding any new kind of stuff that you've not done before for this new release?
Yeah, it's a bit more of everything really. It's as much of a step up as Hales was from Rhythm and Booze.
Yeah. Yeah. It's better than Hales, man. There's like fucking harmonies on there and stuff like that, and it's stuff we'll be able to do live and shit. If we were doing that on, well, there is a little bit on previous releases, but we can actually transpose it live. And
before I wouldn't write too many harmonies because I know I can't do it live, but with an extra guitarist now, it's just more creative freedom.
To be fair, man, if you're going to have 2 guitarists and you're not going to do harmonies, fuck off.
Yeah.
So how have you two both been staying sane over lockdown? I'm guessing you're both missing shows like the rest of us, but what kind of non-musical shenanigans have you been up to keep things interesting for yourselves?
The first lockdown, we all went a bit insane. It's like drinking all the time, but you can only do that for so long, can't you?
Limited.
But then after like 6 months, we sorted our shit out, really. I don't drink as much as I used to.
Yeah, because you've been smashing the gym quite a bit lately, haven't you?
Yeah, I work out and look after yourself.
Yeah, we carried on working out and shit. I live on my own, so kind of like bubble or whatever you want to call it. Fucking so John just came round, been coming round to mine, and we've been working out together and shit like that. Having beers, watching a lot of football, man. Yeah, just going out walking, man. We've started walking a lot more, just exploring shit that's on our doorstep and stuff like that, because there's fucking loads.
Oh yeah, you're pretty blessed up your way with like fucking cool places to go that aren't too far out of town. Like you say, just on your doorstep, cool places in the hills and shit. Like.
Yeah. It's so I've just been doing loads of that, and trying not to fuck ourselves up and that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Well, not all the time anyway, but it's not like we're sober or out.
All right, sound. So let's hear another track then, fellas. So we've had Mind Rotter. What's the second one that you've got for us? What have you got for us behind door number 2?
It'll be Skin Your God, which seems to be everyone's favourite. It's just really well written, in my opinion, like the transitions and everything, and
Yeah.
starts off groovy and goes into like a black metal section.
Track number 2 from PIST today, Skin Your God. Let's check it out.
I'll defy your reason. The shadow
back, and this is the APF Records Podcast with our special guests today, John and Dave from PIST, and that was the second of our 2 tracks for this episode, Skin Your God from the album Hales. You can hear the whole album on their Bandcamp, APF Records site, iTunes, Amazon, etc., all good places you know the score. So, lads, what have you been listening to during lockdown? Have you discovered any hidden gems?
I've been listening to a lot of hardcore recently.
Yeah?
One of the bands I'm buzzing over the most is a band from Massachusetts called Fuming Mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a death metal hardcore crossover.
Sweet.
And I've been ramming them down everyone's throats.
Wicked.
They're cool. I found a band called Malleus, who were like kind of Celtic Frost, Hellhammer kind of fucking worship. They're American, I think. They're pretty cool. I picked up their vinyl. Fucking what else? We've been listening to loads of Mork, Norwegian black metal.
A Danish band called PIST. We've all been into recently.
Yeah. Been listening to the latest Hellripper record. That's fucking killer. Loads, man. We've bought so much music. Obviously, with not being able to go out and shit like that, my record collection's just grown. Fucking.
You got to spend on something, right?
Yeah, man. I can't even think now.
You get that paralysis of choice, don't you? And there's like so many.
No, there was a few there anyway.
Yeah, that's a good selection. All right, so going back from present day, what you've been listening to, right back to the beginning. What was the first record that you ever owned?
It was probably Metallica, the Black Album, because I used to like WWE and I liked the intro music. And I asked my dad, like, do you know any bands like that? Because he was always into that kind of stuff.
Got you.
And he showed me Metallica. And then the first CD I think I actually bought was Nevermind, Nirvana.
Oh, wicked, yeah. Both of those are featured heavily in the answers for this question.
I'm not sure. I think, like, probably bought was probably, like, Oasis or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, apart from cassettes, because they had, like, Entrance, Set You Free, and Cotton Eye Joe on fucking cassette.
Banging.
I remember having Whatever by Oasis on cassette, the single. But record, probably like, I don't know, Definitely Maybe or something like that.
Yeah, mate, that's another one that's featured heavily on the answers for this as well.
Yeah. And Given, I don't know, I remember when like I got to high school, we got into like metal and shit, like stuff like Slayer and Pantera and stuff like that. And then there was some older kids who lent us like Deicide and Napalm Death and Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that. And they lent us them records, and then I was like, fucking hell, like, yeah, that was like a new kind of heavy and like, Jesus. So they stand out for being like lent some records, but yeah.
Did you ever manage to score like any classic or unusual records like off your nan at Christmas? You know, I managed to get some elderly relations of mine to buy me like some weird shit in the past just because I wanted it for Christmas and they had no idea.
I don't think my parents have given me some fucking cool Beatles records and shit.
Oh, nice.
But nah, I think my nan just used to try and slip us money, and you'd say like, "Nah, it's all right, Grandma," and she'd get proper pissed off and that if you didn't take the dress. Yeah, and then you go and spend it on weed or something.
So what was the turning point for both of you when when it came to music? When did you get the bug for being musicians, and were there any entertainers that kind of inspired you growing up that when you saw them you were like, yeah, riffs, I want to do that shit?
I think it's quite well known, but Zakk Wylde, when I first saw him, I was like, I wish that was me.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, he puts on a good show, 100%.
I think I love like Motorhead and Sabbath and stuff like that. Think that shit, and like when you saw stuff like the kind of Pantera home videos and stuff like that. And
watch it go.
You know, just playing music and having a good time with your mates and shit like that. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what else I'd fucking do.
Yeah, I don't really know. Because I've been in bands since I was 17, so I don't really know anything else.
Yeah, I think it's that's a common theme with a lot of us. Like we've all been doing it since we were kids, and it's like, you know, what else aside from like the other little side hobbies we've got? Is like, what else are you going to do? Leaves a lot of time to do nothing otherwise. So it might be a bit of a difficult one. This one with with nobody really knowing when we're going to get gigs back on the go. Like the old times and like the before times. But where do you see PIST going in the next 5 years? What sort of shit do you want to check off your list? What achievements do you want to get under your belt, kind of thing?
We really want to go to Europe.
Yeah, I think that's the main one. Get over to Europe, play some shows out there. That's like I really, really want to do that. Obviously, we've got another new record that will be coming out. Just more of the same and trying to push it a bit harder. Like I suppose. I mean, we're not gonna slow down or anything like that. We all hold down jobs and shit while we're doing it, and have to use our holidays from work to go and do any touring or whatever. But that's fucking cool with us. Just get out and do as much as we fucking can when we're allowed, and just keep cracking up.
Are there any festivals like UK ones or further afield that you guys would like to get on? Like, I know you've done like fucking HRH quite a lot, and have you done Bloodstock?
Yeah, man.
Sure, I remember.
We've got Bloodstock. Hopefully, it looks like it might actually go ahead this year, which is fucking insane because we'd pretty much written that off, haven't we? So hopefully Bloodstock again this year. We're playing Incineration Fest in London 2022, which is cool as fuck. That's got like Shooter on it. Emperor headlining, Dark Funeral, Burial and Fetal Juice are on it as well. So that'll be cool. I'd love to get out and play some festivals in Europe. That'd be killer.
What would your dream like festivals be? Because like Europe's such a fucking goldmine for quality festivals, especially if you go a little further east. Tons of crazy shit going on there.
Yeah, we went Brutal Assault, didn't we, in Czech Republic?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a killer one to play. That was really cool. It's some like old battle fort or something. Like that was a killer festival. I'd love to play that.
Wacken,
Hellfest, all them like bigger ones would be cool. I went Hellfest in like 2007 and 2009, and it's fucking grown from there, hasn't it? It's I mean, the lineup was incredible back then. I'd seen like Typo and Immortal back in 2007, and that was cool as fuck. Man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I ever got to see Typo. I think the only place I might have seen them possibly was if they played the first Ozfest. I can't remember all the lineup on that, but like every fucker else was there, so there's no reason Typo wouldn't have been there. But I would have loved to have seen them in a club. Such a dry, fucking bitter bastard, Peter Steele. I love him.
They came out to they played Magical Mystery Star by the Beatles, and that was cool as fuck. Loads of green smoke and that. And I'd not been like a proper Typo fan and that. Fucking in the early days when like we used to get them Drilling in the Vein Roadrunner Records videos and that, because it was always a bit like, slow and fucking miserable, and I was like fucking just wanted Slayer. Fucking but then I seen him at that Hellfest, and it just fucking clicked for me, and I was like, holy fuck. And like the show was absolutely insane. And then when I got home, like I bought a load of Typo records, and and then he went and died.
Yeah, I know. I was wounded when I heard about that. Leading on from that one, then, what do you think is the future for like our little corner of the music industry? I mean, how do you see it adapting to the challenges that we'll be seeing when live events come back? You know, we're gonna be dealing with stuff like the loss of the small venues. In the meantime, probably a few like promotion firms or crews may well have gone under, or you know, people just decided to do something else with their lives. Obviously, the inexorable march of stuff like internet streaming platforms and fucking Brexit as well. They're all like big challenges that we're going to have to deal with. Like the big guys with a lot of the money, you know, on the majors and that sort of stuff, they'll be all right. They've got bean counters and admins to crunch all the numbers and deal with the red tape. But it's a little bit of a different story for, you know, guys at our level. What do you reckon? What changes do you reckon we're going to see when stuff comes back? You know, how do you reckon folks are going to deal with it?
I mean, like, obviously the shit you just said about the losses of some venues and shit like that, which is awful and sad, but the underground and stuff will always find a way.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know, we're not going to go away because of some fucking shite that everyone's had to fucking deal with. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Just find a way. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what that'll look like, but
DIY will never die.
Exactly, man. Fucking, like you said, we ain't got loads of money. No one's had loads of money and shit like that. It's not the way it is. Like, it's just for the love of fucking playing music, listening to music, enjoying live music. That shit ain't gonna go away. Yeah. And people want it more than ever now because they've not had it so fucking long. Like, so.
Just another sly question that I'm going to slip in before the end. So, what was your last? How much was your last royalty check, and what did you spend it on?
What's a royalty check?
Yeah, I know the feeling.
If we did get anything,
yeah, we'd probably drink it away.
Yeah, fair. That's all the time we have for today, folks. However, as normal, we are doing a little giveaway for our listeners out there. The winner will receive a free copy of Hales, and that will be coming from APF HQ, especially for the lucky winner. All you've got to do to be in with a chance of that prize is just answer the following question. What is the name of PIST's first release? Is it A, Rhythm and Booze? Is it B, Hales? Or is it C, Riffology? You know the score by now. All you've got to do to enter the competition is go on the event page, find the poll in the discussion, and drop your answer in the comments. So go ahead, and we will see who the lucky winner is on the Sunday after this drops, 5 p.m. Everything closes down, and we'll choose a winner at random. We'll email you or fire over a message on DM from Facebook and get your address, and we'll send it off to you in the post. So, lads, it's been a pleasure. Dave and John from PIST. Before we go, is there anything else that you want to plug? Any side hustles you're engaged in? Anything you think people would want to know? Anything cool your mates are up to? You know, plug your pluggables and the like.
I'll just keep an eye out on what APF are releasing, because I know they're putting out Hyena Kill soon.
Yeah. New Hyena Kill record. I think Video Nasties have been recording some shit again. So keep an eye out for them because they're killer. Just keep an eye on APF and keep an eye on PIST.
Awesome. All right, fellas. Well, I hope to be seeing you on some fucking big stages in the near future. I'm looking forward to the new record, definitely. And that just leaves me to thank the both of you for your time today, and Andrew Field of APF Records for letting me try out this podcast. To you guys, the listeners out there in podcast land, for listening, and be sure to check out all of PIST's awesome back catalogue and all the other bands at apfrecords.co.uk and the APF Bandcamp page too. I'll be back with another installment of APF Records Podcast and chatting to some more APF artists very soon. And in the meantime, you can subscribe to this podcast. You'll get notified when the new episodes are up, and you can check out all the older stuff too.